Hey folks, I'm Mike, and today I want to bring you the first part of the interview with Drew Camden. I like to call it the path to El Presidente. And in it, we go over Drew's origin story. And not only do we go over his origin story, we go over it specifically from when he was a relatively unknown pilot all the way to the point where he became the president of Rotor Riot. And from there, we talk about what his day-to-day life is like as president of Rotor Riot. I want to point out something. Some people have commented that Drew looks tired or nervous. I got to be honest with you. It was late. Drew had been at work all day long, and it was well past 11 by the time we finished. So if you see any tiredness in Drew, don't chalk it up to nerves or anything other than the fact that the dude has been working long hours, and he was still at the office past 11 p.m. Anyways, I hope you enjoy the interview. Bye. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring to you El Presidente, Mr. Camden himself.
Hey, Mike. Thanks for having me on, man. Good. Do you have a name for this? Is this a show? Do you have a name for this show? Or is it just
I'm loosely kicking around calling it the Freestyle Show.
Okay.
But I honestly have not done any domain grabbing or anything like that yet.
Okay. You want it's like for freestyle rap, you might have trouble,
I mean, can you? How about you drop some bars for me, man? Drop some bars.
That's all I got. There was that freestyle at the end of the last Rotor Riot episode that was enough cringe to get us through the next quarter.
I thought it was pretty good, to be honest with you.
I ate it.
So
I do genuinely love freestyle rapping. I it's a little off the wall, but I genuinely love doing it. I do it all the time, privately. Whenever I share it, though, I just cringe out. It's not something I like sharing, but I genuinely, it's when I'm doing it, just in words are flowing, it's almost the same state of flow as flying. It's it's almost that. So it's I can get into it anywhere, just put on a beat and just I love it. It's such
that is truly. I mean, look, dude, if this FPV thing doesn't work out for you, maybe freestyle rap.
I don't think so. I don't think I have a future in it. I don't. It's just something I like. It's one of those things. It's you have to, freestyle rapping or singing or whatever. It's kind of sad that you can't enjoy being good at something unless you can't enjoy doing something unless you're good at it, or else people will make fun of you. Because if I was good at it, people would be all about the fact that I can rap, but I'm not good at it, so people make fun of me, and I'm I just genuinely like it. So it's kind of, if you're really bad at drawing, but you really like drawing, you shouldn't stop drawing.
No. Yeah. No, it's funny you say that. I sing and play guitar, and it
Are you
is... Good? How do I answer this? So I used to be. I used to be good. And the problem is something happened to my vocal cords, and I just lost all ability to sing at any length. But I agree with you. There's something about being in that moment, in a great creative moment where you are. I don't even know how to, but it's not that I've achieved the dramatic flow of a true FPV god like yourself. But
you don't get the flow state when you fly?
I'll be honest with you, man. When I fly, I get at most 4 packs in. Yeah. And it
takes a little bit more to get into that flow state.
Yeah. I'm typically flying by myself, and if I'm not flying by myself, then I'm flying with my kids. And when I'm flying with my kids, I'm not flying. They need a spotter, and I'm a good spotter. Right. And I've got one son who's good. I think he has a lot of potential, and the other one is learning. And I'm trying to get my daughter into it, but she's been kind of hit or miss with it so far.
Right.
But they're 11 or 10, 11 and 13. Mm-hmm. So it's good ages to start. But
they could be kick-ass pilots.
I mean, at this point they could win nationals if they were able to throw
really, yeah,
throw enough packs in.
Yeah.
All right. So I have a list of questions for you.
Okay.
And I'm sure that you can sense the direction they will probably go.
So you're probably not looking for a chat with Drib, the YouTube FPV pilot. You want to talk to the Rotor Riot or President Drew.
I want to. You know what? Here's what I want to know.
Because there's a duality.
There is a duality.
I put
because
on my president jacket. I can take it off if you want to. Talk about eyeliner and flying, business and spreadsheets. No.
Right. Exactly. So, I typically, so far, I've done a few of these, and I asked Chad the same question, and I totally ripped this off from Matt Diavella. If you've ever listened to his stuff, he's a great podcaster. But tell me your origin story. But I want to know a specific time frame from you. So there was the time that you were becoming well known on the vlog. And then it seems like overnight you became president of Rotor Riot. But I'm sure that was not an overnight kind of a thing.
Uh-huh.
Take me through what that time was like.
I mean, things just move so fast. I mean, for me, it seems like ages ago. I mean, from the time that I was just starting to get well known. So we're jumping into, I'm working as an engineer at General Motors. I've got 3,000 subscribers maybe. I've always wanted to make YouTube videos. I'm finally doing it. I finally have a thing to make YouTube videos about. I've finally found this trifecta of I love this. I love building the drones. I love flying the drones. I like making the flying videos, and now I can make a YouTube vlog and put it all together into this thing. And I'm just having a blast. And I had fantasies about someday turning some form of this into a career, whether it's being a pilot, being a photographer for hire, somehow getting YouTube famous, and however that makes money, which I still don't know because it doesn't. And I don't know. I mean, I knew I wanted it. I knew I didn't like my job. I mean, there were aspects I liked. In my exit interview, I said I'd be, real sad to be leaving, and to an extent I was, but I was also not. I was also very happy to be moving on and doing something that I was actually passionate about, That's jumping ahead, but still. So I'm actually in a meeting, and I just out of the blue get a Facebook message from Chad Capper. Ping. It's like, hi, I just got turned on to your videos. I'm like, hi, Chad. And I'll be honest, I wasn't actually a big fan of Rotor Riot. It was okay. I liked the Dugga Dive. I liked Tommy and Chad. One who doesn't like Charpoo. That's a little too obvious. No, Steel, I didn't relate to in a sense. I didn't dislike him, but it just, I don't know. I didn't love Rotor Riot. But Chad and I started talking. He said, would you ever come on the show? And I'm like, sure, I'll try anything. I mean, I may not love everything about Rotor Riot, but I'm sure it'd be fun. We just kind of talked back and forth. And we had one phone call where I said, Chad, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to say something I've never really admitted myself. I want to find a career in all this. I want to turn this into a full-time somehow. And he's like, well, let me see if I can help you get the first steps to that. And he started getting me hooked up with paying sponsorship deals. So he helped me turn some relationships I already had into a relationship that I could pay. So I could do more for them, and I could actually get money for it. It wasn't much, but it was like a step towards that. I said, okay, there could be money to be made, in endorsing a product that I genuinely like. So that's cool. And then how things got accelerated really quickly is there was this road trip that they were planning for Rotor Riot. Mm-hmm. And I don't remember which four people were supposed to go. I think it was supposed to be Tommy, Kevin, Steele, Chad, Nowak. I don't remember. But a lot of them couldn't make it kind of last minute. And so only Tommy and Chad could go, Nowak. And Capper's like, well, I've got budget for another plane ticket. And he just calls me. I was out flying, and he calls me, and he's like, hey, I know when we started talking, and I know you haven't, I've been wanting to do something more casual with you, but do you want to get on a plane to California in a week? And I was like, why not? Let me just make sure I get the time off work. And so I took the vacation time and went to California and just had an absolute blast. We did this road trip. We went from California to Utah. We filmed 4 episodes. I love those episodes.
I remember those episodes actually.
Skate, the Chad Nowak's crazy dive. That was just a really fun trip. Except they made me drive the whole time, and that was kind of a dick move. Because I was trying to vlog too, and so like, I don't know, like I was like, yeah, I was like going nonstop that trip, yeah, toward the end of the trip, I said, Chad, I love what Chad wanted to do with Rotor Riot. When he describes Rotor Riot, I'm like, I love this, and I kind of thought the execution needed some alignment, something that was really about inclusion, about inspiration, about education, about friendliness, with edgy, being edgy. I thought the execution at the time was too focused on like the edginess and not enough on the actual core values in a sense, So I'm like, I'm going to infiltrate it, I'm going to come in and be ultra friendly. I'm going to be a little feminine and whatever, like shake things up, be a very different personality than what's been on like Rotor Riot before. And I told Chad for the end trip, like, I want to be on Rotor Riot. Like and he was down. He was like, I want you on. But there's a process. Nothing, like we audition pilots all the time. You have to bring them on the show, see how it fits with how they fit with the group, see how the audience responds, see what they're willing to do. I mean, the audience responded, not necessarily positively, but there was a response. Some people were happy to see me there. Some people weren't happy, but there was a response. So at least, that's the worst. You bring someone new on the show and you like don't get a single comment about them. They're like, yeah, this isn't going to work. You bring someone new on the show, like, I hate that guy. You're like, okay, well, there's something at least.
Right.
And it just kind of moved fast from there. So he brought me on as a pilot. And that was cool to, kind of be officially endorsed, get to, do my own build video. That was the build video on Rotor Riot was like a really big deal to me. Started getting invited on more trips and just like having a good time. And, I kept saying, no, I want to pursue like a career in this. And, Chad was looking to help me find a job that would intersect better with drones.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember, I feel like I talked to a few companies, but at one point he was just like, honestly, I'd rather just have you work for me, but I don't know what I'd have you do. Could you make your own job description? And what did I even say? I don't remember, but we went back and forth. It was about like 2 weeks that we talked about what could I even do for Rotor Riot? What responsibilities could I take on?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it was a lot of, admin stuff at first, organization, booking travel, just taking some basic workload off Chad's plate. Then I came on as a Rotor Riot employee, and I just kept asking.
Had you left your day job at this point?
When I came on as a Rotor Riot employee, yeah, because when you work for being a Rotor Riot pilot, it's like a fun sponsorship. You get to be on the episode, you get to travel. When you work for Chad Capper, you're working. You work a lot, and it's fun. I mean, I left GM, and like my first day, I got on a plane, went back out to California to do more filming and to talk with some companies that were out there about some partnerships. And so there's a lot of fun, but I mean, it is just work. Yeah. But you love what you're doing. And just kept asking for more stuff to do, getting more involved. I was always trying to, push things. I can say I got a lot done. Not everything went well, but at least I was getting things done. And Chad really responded well to that. And we started probably talking about the idea of me leading the company a good 6 months before that even happened. So there was like a long period where we were like dancing around the idea. And it got to a point where we were at this diner. And I'm just like, Chad, we just got to do this. We keep talking about, I don't know what you're waiting for. But in the past when you've had companies and you've appointed someone to really lead it, what did it feel like? He's like this, like really stressed. And I don't know. I'm like, then, and he was like, oh yeah. I was like, it's probably already too late. And in a sense, it almost was, because I came on and part of us kind of figuring out our financial situation was what I did.
Yeah.
I kind of, so if I'd gotten in a little sooner, but everything's going in a great position, in a great path now. I don't know. That was a long, rambly story. That's probably the point of that.
That was actually the shortest origin story to date, so you're good.
Really? I just try to not. I try not to talk for too long. But
you're good, man. You're good.
But all throughout that, most importantly, just trying to keep flying. Keep up my own vlog. I mean, that's really important to me. It's been slipping now as of late, but I think it's maybe now's a good time for it to slip a little bit. But we'll get there. But just keep flying, keep vlogging, keep pushing myself creatively. And I've always, I don't know, somehow I've maintained this like separation. Like I might be a little burnt out on building, but like when I'm flying, I'm flying. And knock on wood, maybe I shouldn't even say it. I don't want to jinx it, but like for as crazy hours as I work and like how day in and day out I'm focused on like drone stuff, it doesn't even really feel like I'm doing drone. No, it feels like I'm doing drone stuff. When I'm flying, I'm not thinking about that. I'm just like, I'm just back to being this like crazy bird.
So I mean, as you're now the president of Rotor Riot, so you fly at least 80 packs a day, right?
My God, I wish. No, it's been a rough year. Just this year has been rough so far. I've been flying. I need to fix that. I keep saying I'm gonna like make myself fly once. It's really not hard. Just go out for an hour. You can rip through a couple packs. I need to just force myself to fly more, but I only fly a couple times a week. Lately, it's been like once a week, if that. No, at least once. I fly at least once a week.
I actually can feel that pain. I work for a small startup as well. I mean, I assume you guys would consider yourselves a startup.
Yeah.
And just the amount of effort and work it takes to make that thing happen when you're wearing 4 hats is pretty epic. My CEO a few weeks ago, he said, if you guys need to work out or do something else that takes care of you mentally, go do it. And so like the next day I went flying. It's like, I'm on it. I'm taking it. So,
we don't have hours. We just have to get our shit done.
Right.
And so I can go fly anytime, but like, I just have too much to do and I need to get it done. I mean, so it's not like someone's clocking it. Yeah. But it's the same for you. Like
you're not punching a clock.
Yeah.
So what does your day-to-day look like? I mean, outside of any chance you get to fly.
Oh, I mean, it's constantly changing. I mean, for a while it was a lot of phone calls, just talking to everyone within the company that was working on their different areas, talking to people outside the company, trying to launch new things, talking to accountants. It was just phone calls consumed me for a while, like a couple months ago. Lately, I've doing firsthand a lot more of our finance stuff. So I've been dealing with wire transfers, which is a pain in the ass, and QuickBooks and things like that. But it's going to change in a week. I'd say about 1 week a month, I get to like really focus on driving the content at Rotor Riot and like, shooting episodes. And like, I love that week, so it's just, there's no like day to day. Some days I'm in the office all day. Other days I don't leave the house. Other days I just piss off and go fly. But
it was funny the day that you reached out. I think it was, so this is like a Wednesday, and you reached out Monday and you're like, hey, you want to do an interview? And I was like, hell yeah. Do you want to do it tonight? And you didn't respond. And I was like, okay, well, I know he's probably full up. So I was like, let me just see if he's super busy tonight. So I pinged Chad and I was like, hey, do you know if Drew could possibly make an interview tonight? And he goes, nah, man, he's filming a video right now. Filming a build video or something. And I was like, okay, all right. I totally respect that. Like,
that's the best. That's the fun part, getting to film, getting to build.
Yeah.
You know, we'll build
How
on
much
screen.
of, if you had to break it down, like how much of it is building versus business versus flying? Or sorry, let me rephrase that. Filming versus business versus flying that's not for filming.
Me flying, not for film. Well, I'm always filming, either for a vlog or
personally.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, a very teeny, very, very small fraction of my time is spent on flying for Rotor Riot. Like teeny. You know, I have to fly very little for an episode. Flying personally, my time, I don't know. It's been low lately. Maybe 10%. I don't know if that.
Okay.
Rest is just business. Business.
So that leads me to a question which you may answer very succinctly or you may answer in depth. It's up to you. How has holding the job of the president of Rotor Riot changed you?
A lot of perspective, you know. Like you really see from start to finish the cash flow of an entire operation. You know, like little things like I don't ever think anything's too expensive anymore. You know, I used to like video games, you know, they used to be a lot cheaper. Now it's like I bought, not that I played it, but I don't know why I even bought it. I played it twice, but I bought Super Smash Brothers. I spent $60 on the new Super Smash Brothers. And, you know, I may have at one point thought $60 for a video game. What the hell? You know, I can download an app for $1 or something like. But like, you look at the credits on that video game, like it's like, oh my god, it's only $60. Right. You know, knowing what went into that, like knowing, you know, oh my gosh, you know, it's yeah, like I see the value in like everything. Like, yeah, I don't think anything's too expensive anymore. I'm like, I get why that costs a lot of money. Right. Even your iPhone. I can't believe iPhones are $1,000. I'm like, I can. Are you kidding me? How are they only $1,000? Like, oh my god. So that perspective on just like how companies that like make things, like what actually goes into that, like how much work. I don't know. Yeah, just a lot of like perspective. And how did it change me? It's a good question. I think I'm still the same person. Honestly, just perspective on stuff. Probably more mature on stuff. You know, like you just get thrown in with the lions and you just like have to grow up a little bit. So, yeah.
No, that's. I mean, that's a valid answer for sure. I think that there's probably a lot of change that I would imagine is still there under the surface that is, you know, in 2-3 years you'll see it.
I'm so thankful for everything that I've been through. Like, there's so many times where I'm like, feel like I'm on the verge of a breakdown, and I'm just like, future Drew is so thankful for this. Future Drew is so thankful for this. You know, this is such a good experience, but it sucks right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching. There will be more, probably 2 more is what I'm thinking, and they will cover various topics, but I won't reveal those just yet. At any rate, I hope that you are enjoying the interviews. I hope that you continue to like, subscribe, and comment. The response has been overwhelming. So overwhelming, in fact, that I have not been able to make it through all of the comments on this video, the one I just posted, or any of the others that have recently been posted. So thank you to the community for the overwhelming response. This has been great. At any rate, I will see y'all later, and see you soon. Bye.